Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers and Digital Empire Builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we're talking 24 books that every entrepreneur should read. And plus some of the reading habits of some of the most successful people on the planet, right? That's what we're getting into today. So comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, smash that share button, and let me know what book are you currently reading this year or on your reading list for you to complete this year. We're going to get into 24 of the hottest books that every entrepreneur should read in 2022. So let's kick it this morning. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, coming to you live and direct from the Local Biz Marketing Pro Studios right here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you are a small local service-based business and you're looking to optimize your online presence, increase your lead flow, grow your revenue so that you can expand your business and contribute more to your local community, we want to help. Go to localbizmarketingpros.com or simply click the link in the comments so that you can grab our free ultimate online marketing checklist for small local businesses. And you'll also get an opportunity to get a free strategy session with one of our lead generation specialists. So check that out. Today, we're talking 24 books every entrepreneur should read. This is going to be fun. I'm kind of started to figure out how to incorporate a little bit more reading in my life. I'm usually a podcast guy, an audio book guy, but there's something about reading, in particular reading out loud, how it helps you with your ability to communicate, especially for someone like myself who does podcasts and speaking and things of that nature. It's only a good thing for me. So drop it in the comments. What is your favorite book of all time? And what are you currently reading? Before we get into today's show, a couple quick announcements. I put in the comments a link to the Kicking It for a Cause event that's going on here in St. Louis, Missouri. If you're local to St. Louis and you want to come and hang out to a community town hall where there's going to be great conversation, you're going to have an opportunity to network with some amazing people from all over the city and the region. You definitely want to be at Kicking It for a Cause. I put the link in the comments for there. I will be there. I was at the last live and in-person event, and it was flat out amazing. The conversation was dope. So come meet your boy in person, come hang out and see what's going on in the community and provide some input, man. We're looking for answers to rebuild our local communities. Also in the comments is the link to the Content Marketing Formula Masterclass. If you missed last week's live content marketing session, we had a rocking good time. I provided tons and tons of free resources, infographics, memes for coaches and consultants, especially those who are in the financial space and the health and wellness space, and then those who are in digital marketing. So there's tons of free resources, free brandable ebooks. All you got to do is click the link in the description, sign up, and on the replay page, you'll see right there all of the links to the resources there as well. Margaret, good morning to you. So before we get into the 24 books that every entrepreneur should read, y'all know how we do, man. We start every episode of the Cortez Hustle Show with a quote of the day. And today's quote says this: "It's hard to defend yourself when the murmuring of accusation is stronger on the inside than all the voices of the critics on the outside." And that is Bishop T.D. Jakes. It's hard to defend yourself when the murmuring of accusation is stronger on the inside than all the voices of the critics on the outside. Sometimes some of us spend way too much time beating ourselves up, right? We speak worse to us than our haters sometimes speak worse to us and about us. And you got to stop that, y'all. You got to stop that. The difference between winners and losers, the difference between the successful people and unsuccessful people, the difference between super successful people and people who are living average existences. You know what the major difference is? It's the story that they tell themselves versus the story that you're telling yourself on autopilot, right? See, all of us have a story that's on rewind going on in our heads every day about who we are and what we can accomplish. My question for you today is: that story that you're currently running on autoplay, is that story serving you? Right? Some of us, every time we attempt to do something, that story comes up. Man, you remember the last time you did try something like that, you failed. Or remember the last time you attempted that, it didn't work out too well for you. How are you talking to yourself on a regular and consistent basis determines the level of height that you can reach. We spend a lot of time looking at what other people are saying about us, what other people are thinking about us. We spend very little time thinking about what we think about ourselves, thinking about what we're constantly saying to ourselves, and more importantly, thinking about what we are believing about ourselves. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Drop your favorite quote. I would love to see what it is that you guys are repeating to yourself over and over. The quote of the day is brought to you by Local Biz Marketing Pros. If you need help with your branding and your marketing, you want to optimize your online presence, increase your lead flow, grow your revenue, go to localbizmarketingpros.com. We have the solutions for you. So we're talking 24 books every entrepreneur should read. I found this list. Let me go ahead and grab this link and throw that in here so you can check this out for yourself. I haven't seen the list in its entirety, so I'm looking to potentially be shocked by some of the books that are listed here. So 24 books for entrepreneurs. Bang. All right, so there we go. 24 books every entrepreneur should read. The link is in the comments. But before we get into the actual books that you should read this year, between this year and next year, I found this other article that I wanted to share with you. This is on Inc.com. And let's see. The article says, reading habits of the most successful leaders that can change your life, right? So let's go through some of the reading habits of some of the most successful people, because one of the things that I've been telling myself, going back to the stories that you tell yourself, they're important. They are critically important. And I've been telling myself, I don't have time to read for 30 minutes or an hour every day, right? And if you start believing the things that you're telling yourself, you can be in trouble unless you change the things that you tell yourself. Then you start believing different things that you're telling yourself. That's powerful, right? So, what are some of the reading habits of some of the most successful people? Then we'll get into that list of 24 books that every entrepreneur should read, right? Americans read fewer and fewer books each year. Last year, a survey by the National Endowment of the Arts found that only 43% of US adults read any type of literature not required for work or school, a percentage that is a 3-decade low. Apparently, these statistics don't apply to the busiest and most successful people like Warren Buffett, Mark Cuban, and Bill Gates, right? How the busiest people find time to read. Check this out. Someone once asked Buffett about keys to success, and he said, read 500 pages every day. That's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest. All of you can do it, but I guarantee not many of you will. That is bananas to me to think about. Buffett reads 600 to 1,000 pages daily, read 600 to 1,000 pages daily when he started his career as an investor. How does he do it? It's a top priority. He still allots about 80% of his day to reading. Just makes it a priority. It's no coincidence that Buffett's bank account is also robust as his reading habit. Tim Corley is the author of Rich Habits, The Daily Success Habits of Wealthy Individuals. He studied the daily activities of 233 rich people and 128 poor people over 5 years. He found that 67% of rich people watch less than 1 hour of TV per day. Interesting, ladies and gentlemen. See, they tell me that success leaves clues. And for someone who aspires to build a multi-billion-dollar international media conglomerate, this is highlighting and pointing out to me that I don't read nearly enough, right? What is Warren Buffett worth? About 80 billion? Let's see. Let me just check real quick. Warren Buffett's net worth, $99.3 billion. And he finds the time to read 500 pages per day. That seems bananas to me, right? But again, you got to do the things that most people are not willing to do so that you can have the things that most people will never be able to have. And one of the things that I want to have more than anything else, right? Yes, I want the money. I want to be rich. And I'm not afraid or ashamed to say it. But you know what I want that I know money can get me? Is influence that creates impact in the lives of other people. Yep. Think about all the lives that Warren Buffett is impacting every single day because of his success. So we're going to get to these 24 books that every entrepreneur should read, but I thought it'd be helpful to get an idea about how much one should be reading. How should one prioritize reading in their lives, right? Number 2 on the list is Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban reads about 3 hours a day because it gives him a level of comfort and confidence in his business. He shares that growing up, he read every book or magazine I can get my hands on because one good idea would pay for the book and could make the difference between me making it or not. Interesting perspective. All you need is one good idea. And sometimes it's the reading of other people's information that sparks the thought that allows you to connect some dots in your head, and all of a sudden, you got $1 million idea. I feel like if I put in enough time consuming all the information available, particularly with the with the internet making it so readily available, I can get an advantage in any technology business, he explains. You want to get an advantage? Start consuming the content, specifically in business, around your industry, right? So I've got some work to do. I don't know about you. Who can admit in the comments that you got some work to do? Who can admit that you're not reading nearly enough to be as successful as you want to be? Right? I can admit that. I'm not reading. According to the level of success that I aspire to, I'm not reading nearly enough. And all it requires is that I take time from watching TV. I take time from maybe sleeping, get up a few minutes earlier. I take time from something else that is not serving me well and put more time into the things that will help me become who I need to become in order to do the things I need to do so that I can have what I want to have. Margaret said, I got some work to do too, right? That's what it's about. Number 3 on the list, we're talking about powerful, successful, uber busy people who still find time to read every day. Bill Gates, the richest man in the world, reads 50 books a year. I'll tell you, I probably read 3 books this year. And here's one of the things that can hold you back from doing what you know you need to be doing to win. I read, like, I'm on my 3rd book this year. I'm reading a book on leadership, the 5 pillars of leadership, and I'm almost done with that. Earlier this year, with the Black Mastermind group, we reread Think and Grow Rich and a couple other books, right? Here's what can hold you back if you're not careful. I can look back and say, I've read 3 or 4 books this year. And I know that the average person doesn't read more than 1 book after graduating high school or college. So I can look at myself and say, man, I read 3 or 4 books this year. I'm better than average. I'm doing better than most. But you should not be comparing yourself to most. You should be comparing yourself to the person that you want to become. I want to become a billionaire. So I can't compare myself to people who never read another book outside of high school or college. I have to look at the people and the habits of the people who have gone on to do and become the person that I want to become like. And these people, 50 books a year, Bill Gates, dang. Gates shares that while he can travel anywhere and meet with anyone, reading is still the main way that he learns new things and tests his understanding. He always has a book with him wherever he goes. Elon Musk taught himself to build rockets by reading. The costs to build a rocket were prohibitively high, so Musk concluded he could do it himself after reading how to do it. He was driven by a specific goal and a desire to acquire specific knowledge. He didn't stop until he learned what he wanted to learn. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett, Y'all think these some busy people? Y'all think these people got some things going on in their lives? And every day they find time to read? Last but not least, Tony Robbins. Robbins grew up with an alcoholic mother and various abusive fathers. He attributes books to saving his life and shaping him into the leader he is today. Reading sparked a passion inside of me. I took a speed reading course and read 700 books in 7 years, all on psychology, physiology, anything that could make a difference in my life. 700 books in 7 years. What? 100 books a year. And these ain't no popcorn books. Psychology, physiology, right? Neuro linguistic programming, is he's big into that? Crazy. And you can't find time to read one book a month, Cortez? Are you kidding me? I've got work to do. Speaking of work to do, we've got to transition into one of my favorite segments of the show called 1 Minute Motivation. If you're new to the Cortez Hustle Show, 1 Minute Motivation is where we play a short motivational video, usually 60 to 90 seconds or so. And if you're available to type as you're watching this live, I'm going to ask you to comment at least one takeaway. I'm going to comment a couple takeaways as well. So let's get into some 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
Always strive to be more than that which you are. Yeah, don't get satisfied with yourself. Always know that wherever you are, you can enjoy more, that you deserve more. Most of us go through life pretending that we're satisfied where we are, pretending that everything is okay, pretending that we don't have any special goals or ambitions or desires, when really deep down inside we do really want more. But most people, you know what they do? Most people go through life quietly and safely, tiptoeing to an early grave. Find out what it is you want and go after it as if your life depends on it. Why? Because it does.
Hoo-wee. Nothing like a little Les Brown to fire you up in the morning, right? Listen, people. I can enjoy more. I deserve more. If you know deep down inside you deserve more, then I want you to put in the comments, I deserve more. Right? And I'm not talking about you deserve more based on the work that you've already put in. No, the work that you put in, you have what you have because of the work that you put in. I want you to say, I deserve more if you know that you deserve more because you can become more, right? That's the key. I deserve more because I can become more, and I'm willing to put in that work, right? He also says, stop pretending, man. See, we've been taught that to desire more than enough is wrong. Especially those of us who are in the Christian community, we have been taught that to be humble is to be poor. And that's not the truth, right? We've been taught that the meek will inherit the earth, and we automatically assume that the meek are those without means, right? Do y'all know that Jesus traveled with an accountant? Last I checked, you don't need an accountant if you broke. Right? I want you to really think about what it is that you really want. Like, I want you to, who listening to the sound of my voice wants to be wealthy? I remember the first time I let it come out of my mouth that I'm going to be a billionaire, right? I remember the first time I let it come out of my mouth around someone else. I had been thinking about this. I'm like, hey, the impact that I want to have on this world, the things that I want to do for the Black community, right? The things that I want to do for my church, the impact that I want to have, I'm going to need a tremendous amount of influence. And the influence that I need comes from connections, it comes from financial resources. And I said, well, how much, Cortez, for you to enjoy the rest of your life, but have so much overflow that you can create the impact that you want to have? And $1 billion was the number, right? And the first time I said that around someone, they snickered, right? And I found it incredibly disrespectful that someone snickered at my aspiration to be a billionaire, right? And this is somebody that I know, love, and respect, right? But as Steve Harvey is famous for saying, you want to kill a big dream shared with small-minded people, right? We've got to figure out what it is that we really want, and we cannot allow other people to cause us to temper down our expectations, to temper down our aspirations based on what they want out of life. So many people don't want anything. And because they don't want anything, they don't want you to want anything either. And you got to be careful, right? Latrice, welcome to the stream. Find out what it is that you really want and go after it like your life depends on it, because it does. That, ladies and gentlemen, is 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by Local Biz Marketing Pros. We want to help your small service-based business optimize your online presence, increase your lead flow, grow your revenue so that you can expand your operation and ultimately contribute more to your community. That's what we want to help you do. And the internet is a great way to do that. So go to localbizmarketingpros.com. I put a link in the comments for you to get our free ultimate online marketing checklist to show you what you should be doing in your marketing plan to optimize your online presence. Go check that out for yourself. So we're talking about 24 books that every entrepreneur should read. Let's see if we can get through this list. This is an article on squaredacademy.com. I'll put the link in the comments for you guys to read. Number one on the list, and I hate that they don't have them numbered, so I'm not going to number them. I'm just going to say next, right? So the first one that they have here is Losing My Virginity by Richard Branson. We all know who Richard Branson is and that his success is nothing but extraordinary. He's known for taking huge risks and breaking away from established norms. And this autobiography, which spans over 40 years of his life, we can learn what made his brain tick. Wow. So the book was published in 1998. The act of studying successful entrepreneurs is essential for those who have ambitions of reaching the very top of their field. I absolutely love watching two things about people. I love watching people operate in their gifts. So I would go and see a concert. I love watching comedians. I love watching musicians play. I just love to see people operate in their gifts, right? But I also love to watch documentaries on people's life stories and their journeys. That's just my jam. So I guess now I have to start reading them, right? Perennial Seller by Ryan Holiday. And let me know if you guys have heard of any of these books as well. A Formula for Becoming a Classic and Legendary, for becoming classic and legendary. The Art of Making and Marketing Work That Lasts, right? Here we have another incredible, successful college dropout. This book is not only one of the best books for entrepreneurs, but anyone looking to add value to their work. Holiday's insights look into the importance of finding your niche, creating the best products possible, and the value of word of mouth marketing. Well, y'all know that's right up my alley in the marketing, right? Dare to Lead, Brene Brown or Brene Brown, right? So Brene Brown created one of the best books for all entrepreneurs looking to develop their ability to lead. Leading and managing are one of the toughest challenges we face in industry, but Brown highlights the fundamentals of successful leaders, right? I love that they bring this to the table, because if you're running a business, one of the things that you absolutely must learn how to do and do well, in fact, due to the level of mastery, is leading others. You got to learn how to lead others. I've got about 10 books already on leadership, and I will pick up this one too, right? Brene Brown, Dare to Lead, is on the list, right? Let me know when I get to one that might catch your attention. Now, this one I've heard a lot about, and I don't own it yet. It is The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And to be honest, that just like 4-hour work week, really? But at the same time, when you think about the technology that we have at our fingertips, the ability to lead people, right, into day-to-day tasks and operations that gets results, then maybe it doesn't take more than 4 hours a week to run a multi-billion-dollar empire. I don't know. A famous book among the entrepreneurial world, this book outlines the process in which we can live like millionaires without having to be millionaires. Sounds intriguing, right? Well, it's not so simple. Ferriss clearly states that not everyone will be able to follow the steps provided in this book, but for those willing to read with open-mindedness and without naivety, you can transform your life from 80-hour weeks to 4-hour weeks. One of the things I'm currently working on now is maximizing my production. Right, I bought a bunch of these high performance planners from Brendan Burchard. And I'm working to get into the habit of journaling and planning my days, and then not only planning my days, but recapping my days. That is incredibly important. And I know it's a success principle that works. I just haven't been able to discipline myself to do it. And I'm honest enough with myself to say, hey, you got to pull it together around this one area. It's the thing that will transform your life. So I'm continuing to work on it. I jotted some things down this morning, and I just got to get better at it, man. I just know that planning your day ahead of time, right? I had a quote of the day the other day, and I'm going to share it with you guys real quick, from Jim Rohn. He said, it's possible to finish something before you start. In fact, it would be a bit foolish to start before you finish. And that's all about the planning process, right? Every night before you go to bed, you should already finish the next day. Hey, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. I'm going to take time for this, 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 and that. And you should write that stuff down. And it gives you a guide for the next day. But also, every night before you go to sleep, you should also recap the day. One of the things that we do not do enough is pat ourselves on the back for our small wins. And if you recap your day, I promise you, you did something well that day. And that should be celebrated, even if it's only celebrated by you. Next on the list, Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. That's right, from Nike. A memoir by the founder of Nike, and a book that renowned Bill Gates named one of his favorite 5 books of 2016. This book offers incredible insight into how major companies come to fruition, as well as captivating stories of Knight's life. See, these are the things that get me excited, because a lot of times we focus on trying to do the things that these people are doing today. But that's not it. I love it when someone takes me back to where they were before they started, right? This is why I love documentaries, because documentaries tend to go back to the lives of people before they started to bubble, and you can see certain things. One of the things that I was watching last night on Showtime, they have a documentary about the Comedy Store out in California, right? And I'm watching as they tell the story about how these legendary comedians would go to this Comedy Store and they would put their name on a list to get up on stage for open mic night for 3 minutes. They would get 3 minutes of time, right? But they only had 16 spots per night. But 50 to 100 people would put their name on the list every day. And one young lady, and I forget her name, but she's made it big now. She said, every day for 2 years, I came and I put my name on that list. And it took 2 years for her to get picked. And not only did they have to put their name on the list, they had to be there at 5 to put their name on the list. Then they didn't find out if they were going to be able to get on stage until 7. And then they didn't get on stage until 9. So you're talking about every day. Talk about commitment. Every day they showed up before 5, stood in line to put their name on the list. The list came out at 7, and then they actually didn't get on stage until 9 or 10 o'clock. Crazy, right? But how big is your commitment? And those who stuck with it, the reason they did that, because they knew, if I can get on stage at the Comedy Store, if I can make it here, everybody who has become anything in the world of comedy got their start at the Comedy Store. So they were committed, right? What else do we have? Of course, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is an all-time classic. Over 15 million copies sold worldwide. A truly inspiring book on one of my personal favorites. Not only does this book provide 13 key principles for success, but these principles can be used towards any achievement you may wish to make. When using the word rich, it is clear that Hill is not speaking purely from a monetary point of view, but also a spiritual one. Anyone, not just entrepreneurs, will learn the value of persistence, faith, and desire in the pursuit of your life goals. These are just a few of the 13 principles that he covers with passion and belief that this book is truly a gift to all that read it. I mean, you guys got that in your library. Think and Grow Rich, right? So I've got Think and Grow Rich. I've got 2 different versions of it. And then I have Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. And I have to admit, I haven't gotten into that one, but I did read the original at least 2 times, right? Next on the list, this is one that I've been meaning to get and just haven't gotten it yet, right? The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Because I think one of the challenges that I have is organization. I've got Brendan Burchard's High Performance Habits, which is along the similar lines of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? But I want to get the classic as well and really get into building the habits that make me more productive, because my haters think they are having trouble keeping up now. Let me get a little bit more productive. Let me establish these habits, right, that will cut out some of the procrastination that I do. Am I the only one that struggles with procrastination? Let me develop the habits that keep me focused and on task, and kill some of the distraction that pulls me away from my income producing activities, right? Over 40 million copies sold worldwide. This bestseller has changed the lives of countless people, spanning from entrepreneurs to CEOs to stay-at-home parents. The habits that guide you through the process of dependence to independence and then on to interdependence provide every leader with invaluable information on how to build their success. Wow. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about 24 books that every entrepreneur should read. And this list is robust. I put the link in the comments. I'm not reading all of the commentary. That's for you guys to go, but I'm just kind of highlighting the first paragraph that the writer is talking about, right? Here's one that I've never heard of, right? Disciplined Entrepreneurship by Bill Arlett. And it looks like a workbook, Disciplined Entrepreneurship Workbook. Going back towards more business, the more business side of things, this book is for entrepreneurs looking to create the best possible startup. Arlett specifies that the ideas of your business is never as important as the process, which is laid out in 24 steps. Oh man, I think I'm gonna go get this one right now. I struggle with being a solopreneur. Process, right, is incredibly important, so that you can bring others in to help you and they can just pick up where you left off, right? When I interviewed Michelle Seiler Tucker on Exiting Rich, she talked about that being one of the Achilles heels for a lot of entrepreneurs that want to sell their business, is they don't have processes and procedures in place, so that if you do sell the business, or if one of your employees do walk away, you can just fill that void with someone who's qualified and give them the process and procedure and say, hey, this is how we run it, right? The 24-step process given to us helps us understand that there isn't one tool that will create a successful business, but it will help us identify what tool to use and when to use it. Next is Choose Yourself, James Al Tucker. Be happy, make millions, live the dream. A key takeaway from this book is the 1% rule, the idea that every day you can improve yourself or your business by 1%. Al Tucker points out that this simple but very effective method of self-development and growth, allowing us to become 36% better every year. Not only does Al Tucker go into great detail about the techniques used to influence customers and unorthodox ways of changing your life, but he also breaks down the psychology of Eminem's famous rap battle against Papa Doc in the film 8 Mile. Oh man, that's dope, because that's one of my favorite all-time rap scenes, right? When you can be vulnerable and you can put yourself out there so no one has any ammunition to use against you, it's dope. Rework, Jason Fried and David Heinemeier, offering a refreshing insight into business. Fried and Heinemeier encourage people who don't necessarily self-identify as entrepreneurs to create a small, profitable business to supplement their main income. Oh man, y'all know that is up my alley too. The Financial Health Mentor brand was built on teaching a simple principle that says, start a home-based business, which puts you on the other side of the tax code. It's going to save you $12,000 to $15,000 a year in taxes if you do it right. Take the tax savings, use those to get out of debt, build you an emergency fund, and start to invest. And that's how you get on the road to building wealth. Not to mention that you add another stream of income to your household, right? That is the key to building wealth for working Americans. And most don't want to hear it, but I'm going to keep screaming it. You don't have to want to build a multi-billion-dollar international media conglomerate like yours truly. But just starting a small business that you're going to produce some products and services, and some of those services could be things that you already know. Maybe you can be a consultant because you know how to do resumes really well. You know how to interview really well. You teach a few people that every month. And because you're running that business out of your home, now you get over 450 tax deductions. It's going to save you a ton of money. That money that was going to Uncle Sam now can go to the banks to get you out of debt. That money that was going to Uncle Sam can now go to the investment banker to start growing your retirement account. That money that's now going to the banks to get you out of debt will also improve your credit, give you more buying power, give you more leverage, right? And then you will learn how to use other people's money to buy assets, right? I love this. I love this. Drop your favorite book in the comments. Have I mentioned one that you know you probably want to pick up yourself? Purple Cow by Seth Godin. Seth Godin. What the heck is Purple Cow? It's fair to say that Seth Godin needs no introduction, except maybe that he has written 19 international bestsellers. The Purple Cow describes the value in standing out by not fitting in, creating original and different products using unorthodox methods of marketing are key takeaways. When it comes to marketing, who better to listen to than Godin himself? Man, listen. When you are your most authentic self, you start to realize that there is no competition. I am literally one of a kind. I am one of one. Out of 8 billion, there is only one Cortez Hustle. All I got to do is walk fully in all that I am and proclaim not that I'm better, but that I'm different. Like Tyra Banks says, different is better than better. Stop running around trying to be better than the next person. Highlight that you're different and stand in your difference. And you'll attract the people that you are meant to serve. Purple Cow, Seth Godin. Next on the list, to sell is human. Now, this sounds like something that I also need, right? To sell is human, right? Let's see. What does it say about this one? Daniel Pink explains that selling is a fundamental skill in human society. This isn't solely focused on selling a product. It also relates to the persuading others to take action. This could be to share a Facebook post or to read one of these best entrepreneurial books of all time. Pink describes key skills such as attunement and clarity, providing you with information that has the power to change your entire perspective on persuasion and selling. Dope. Listen, man. One of the things we absolutely have to get clear on when it comes to being entrepreneurs is this idea of selling. People love to buy and they love to be sold to. I've been listening to a lot of Myron Golden lately, and he's been blowing my mind and breaking down a lot of strongholds that I had in my mind about selling, right? Like the difference between convincing and persuasion. Most people fall into convincing because they can't sell. Selling is persuading. Persuading is getting people to make a decision that they already desire to make for their own benefit. Convincing is getting people to take an action that I desire them to take for my benefit. selling is not something you do to people, it's something you do for people. And I'm learning every day that, okay, Cortez, when I get to know my customer and I sit down and I'm really concerned about their well being, the success of their business, then it's nothing for me to offer them a solution because I want to help them. And in order to help them, I need to present this product that's going to solve their problem, right? Am I the only one here that's had a challenge with selling, that's got to break down some misconceptions and some strongholds around selling, right? Let me know in the comments if that makes sense to you, the difference between convincing and persuading. That blew my mind. Selling is not something you do to people, it's something you do for people. That blew my mind. And it's really set me at ease when it comes to what I'm doing, man. And I'm super excited about it. Next on the list, Walker Deeble says, buy, then build. What? Buy, then build. This takes a whole new look on how we generally see entrepreneurship. Instead of following the trend that's starting our own business, why not buy an already existing business? With baby boomers retiring at a rate of 10,000 every 24 hours, the business world is leaning towards a buyer's market more and more each day. Many of these businesses were built when baby boomers were young and hungry for success, but we now have one thing that they didn't have: online marketing. This is a great way to add value to already existing companies and skip the difficult and taxing process of starting a business. Wait, what? Man, buy a business that already exists, leverage our knowledge and intimate knowledge of the internet and social media, and really take another business that maybe was family owned, that was started 20, 30, 40 years ago, that has a solid brand, solid reputation, and take it through the stratosphere. It's crazy. It's amazing. It's flat out amazing concept. Never thought about it, right? Margaret says, I'm going to replay and make a list of all. I've got to get back to reading. I appreciate you, Margaret. Thanks for tuning in. So buy, then build. So you can take an existing business and add some flair to it, right? You guys getting value from this? Because we're running out of time, and I've got 10 more books to share with y'all, right? Brave, Not Perfect. Reshma Sajani, I think that's how you say that. Fearless, Fail More, and Live Bolder. Fearless, fail more, and live bolder. Brave, not perfect. Now, this is a concept, right? Founder and CEO, Girls Who Code, New York Times bestselling author, right? An inspiring read with a focus on society's tendencies to protect women from failure, which is in turn impedes their growth. That does not mean it is a book for women. Anyone and everyone should read this book to gain a clearer perspective on how women are treated and often underestimated in not only business, but the arts sector. Finding the bravery to give up the idea of perfection and aim for progress and success is something we all struggle with, but society, as it stands, makes it harder for women. Brave, not perfect. Some of us are missing out on some amazing opportunities, right? Because we want things to be perfect. And if you're new to the show, I like to say that perfectionism is just a bougie way to say procrastination. Oh, Cortez, it ain't ready yet, so I don't want to put it out. Yeah, you're just procrastinating. Oh, it's got to be perfect before I put it out. Oh, you're just scared to put it out. You don't want that feedback. In order to get it perfect, you got to put it out so you can get the feedback from the people that are going to engage with it every day. And they are the ones that will help make it perfect, right? Y'all know I love to use the example of the iPhone. If it wasn't for the imperfections in the iPhone 1, y'all wouldn't have the iPhone 13. And I say y'all because it's Team Android over here all day, right? But the iPhone 1 wasn't ready, right? But they put it out anyway. And then the consumers provided the feedback to help the development of the iPhone 2. That's how that works. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be good enough. Get it good enough and put it out and let the people decide on how to make it perfect from there. So, man, I thought we would get through all of these today, but there's quite a few more. So we're going to jump into part 2 of this on Wednesday. Tomorrow, we do the local show, St. Louis Hustle Podcast, and we're going to be continuing our sample ballot of who's on the ballot for this primary election coming up on August 2nd. So we'll be doing that tomorrow on the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. But come back Wednesday, and we're going to do part 2 of this, where we're going to go through the rest of this book list. Man, this has been amazing for me. Margaret says definitely getting value. There's some other books that I want to highlight that are on this list. So we're going to talk about those on Wednesday. Make sure, if you have not already done so, hit the like button, hit the follow button, hit the share button, or the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit the share button, right? Alex Gomez, I appreciate you, brother. He says, great info. Thank you so much for tuning in and engaging, my friend. So that's going to wrap up today's show, man. Again, if you missed our content marketing masterclass last week, look at the link in the comments. Go ahead and register. You're going to get instant access to the replay, and you're going to get instant access to all of those free resources. I think there's 5 free ebooks on there that you guys want to get a hold of. So make sure y'all go check that out today. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, man. Until I talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.